Yeah, so we had this idea. Hey, man, you really fought the MiG-29. I made a video about it a couple years ago, and he's like, "Why don't we compare?" You know, because it always, I don't know, at least mover for us. I always feel like people want the comparison. What's the real compared to DCS? Because everybody, what they want, you know, the DCS fanboys, we love DCS, but DCS fanboys, what they want to hear is, oh, it's just like the real thing. Yes, you would be the greatest fighter pilot in the world because you are amazing in DCS. I mean, right?
Send all hate mail to
Gonky's channel.
Rod Hartstock.
Yeah, exactly. So I thought it was a great idea. So I went and looked at our DCS footage, and then I looked at my real footage, and I was trying to draw similarities where I could compare the two. And the only similarity I could draw was how I fight, because Mover in the MiG-29 was fighting Western style, I'll say, and somebody who clearly Mover has flown the Hornet, so he knows how it likes to fight. And then fighting a real MiG-29 pilot who was taught to fight like a MiG-29 fought very differently. So there was no real direct comparison, but the one constant was me, and that was get him slow, one circle. And
I voluntarily did it because plot twist.
Well,
I'm Western trained.
Right. So, and that's because Wombat would agree with me, and Mover will too, having flown the Hornet. The strong point in the Hornet is the slow speed one circle flight. So that's the game I always try to get my opponent to play. And Mover tries that in the MiG-29, and you know the MiG-29 doesn't do that as well, right? So the real MiG-29 pilot, he knows he's got superior thrust to weight. Granted, I was in a 2-bag Hornet when this happened, but I digress. Let it play, and I will commentate. It's quick, rather quick. So it starts out with Mover and I basically in the flats here, and he's offensive in a MiG-29. Big surprise, right?
I'm good.
All right. So I just do, because I'm cheating using the HUD, the helmet mount sight, I'm just holding 35 alpha like I would for real. And you can see already, right, he's starting to flesh out in front of me. And here's the third iteration.
Yeah, this is about when I tried to do the override thing and departed.
Too late, right? So he flushes out in front because I am playing the one circle game, and there Cornwallis takes half a belt of Tony Mike. All right. And then it steps to the real footage. And I can't remember his call sign, but this MiG-29 pilot was taking me to circle. And it's a little bit harder, so I use the footage from my video, which circles the MiG. So there he is, and this is actually the first time he flew out in front of me, but we kept the fight going. So I actually took a snapshot here, a little rangy, as Mover would say. We have a really wide left to left. Okay, so he's 2 circle over the shoulder, and then instead of turning across his tail, I give up a bunch of turning room, right, and continue my 1 circle flight. You can see the heavy vapes coming off, and it works out because he's probably doing 9 Gs, arcing around, and you can see there he is out in front of me. I did a 90, and like he did a 270 right around me, but he flew out in front of me, kind of thing. So, yeah, and then there he goes, and that was it. We were a D model and a MiG-29. They run out of gas pretty quick when you put them in.
Below the hard deck does not count.
I wasn't below the hard deck, but I thought it was
just for a minute,
just for a second, just to see how it feels.
I saw the shot. There was no danger.
Do I need to go back?
No, we were way above the hard deck. But you know, I could only do this fight because we were at altitude. You know, if you watch the real video, it plays a little more of it. And because of having 2 bags, the only way energy wise I could even play, you know, execute the game plan I did is because I had altitude to go down, and he would come down with me, which was kind of a mistake. But I didn't tell him that, of course. But I thought, you know, comparing the DCS fighting and the real life stuff, I mean, the pilot definitely makes a difference because it was the same airplane, but you know, 2 different fights. You know, Mover was doing the 1 circle game with me, and it, you know, I don't know, Mover. What do you think? I mean,
if I could have, so I did get some rounds on you on that one, and if I could have continued, that would have been a fairly quick kill. The problem is I can't gun. So, you know, once you figured out where your bearing was, you know, did what you had to do. Kind of a high aspect gunshot, but that's what you do. So good on you.
Yeah. Yeah. I always thought, so I fought the MiG-29 a couple times, and the Hornet's big advantage is BVR. And then within visual range, it's a lot like an F-16. It has tremendous power. I mean, it can go up almost any time it wants.
Yeah, don't go vertical. But Wombat, what do you got?
You guys are awesome. So basically, the bottom line is that as good as you are in DCS is how you would be as a fighter pilot. That's my take on all this.
I just heard Wombat is buying a setup for himself.
Yeah, no, don't knock at Wombat until you try. I tell you what, you'll get in this thing. You'll go into the break and fly into the ground immediately.
Dude,
trust
me. He's a rich airline pilot. Just non-rev your ass down to Pensacola with Gonky and put you in
this
wings.
Is where you need to work on your ribbing of your friends. You don't say somebody's a rich airline pilot and then tell them to non-rev. Like, come on, bro.
First
if I'm
class,
down there, it's
well.
going to be first class. Like, don't. Come on.
Okay.
Don't. You know what?
Listen. All right.
Listen. It was. I thought it was pretty fun. I wish we had more than one set, because what I wanted to look at was kind of like I wanted to see if I could find something more resembling what I actually did in the real airplane to compare, to be honest. But it was fun, man. It was fun. Yeah.